Shut up. So, hello and welcome to Live with Rex, episode 127. And this is a live where I am feeling very motivated. We're only going to be live for half an hour because I'm tired. I was in work from, like the early hours, like 6 all the way till half 6. So I was in there for like 12 and a half hours. So I don't plan for this to be the longest live I'm ever going to make. It's going to be a short 30-minute one just to... Well, the one I don't like missing them, or see how many I could. I'm curious to see how many I'll have done within a space of a calendar year. There's days where I do more than one, but it's a consistency thing as well. So I don't make that many normal type videos, so this is kind of what you get. But we're gonna get back to something we've kind of neglected in considering. I think it's been what? It has to have been about 3 weeks. Probably 3 weeks today, actually, since I moved the room around like this. And I've still not got everything sorted the way that it should be. Which is unfortunate. So obviously, let me show you where we're at in terms of things. So this shelf is the one that's probably the closest to being done. We have been sidetracked, like organising this, which this is itself still not completely done. And you want to know something funny, right? See these action figures that I kind of put up here? Well, guess who's went and bought more? Guess that's something I'm collecting now. I'll show you what ones they are exactly. So, this one here is just like a one-off that I found at a convention. The Ori Mandrill one, I just thought was cool. It's from like 99 when Phantom Menace came out. This one I've had for a couple of years. This is Hondos. This is the Clone Wars figure number 39. That's part of one of the many lines they were doing at the time for action figures by Hasbro. And that is one of the movie heroes ones from 2012. So that's the 17th one out of the set, Padme. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to continue out of these sets or get one from another set because I want to put more going along there. Because that's something I've thought about collecting for a while. And I've picked up number 1 in this series, which is a Shock Trooper. And yes, it's sealed ones, obviously. No, that one's the Padme in there. They're pretty cool, these. But let me show you the main bit we're going to try and focus on. So I'm going to try and get more of this done because I'm planning to do a room tour type video in May. Normally I do a big Clone Army video, and look, I want to do it, but I've not really bought that many clones in the last year, admittedly. So I don't think it's worth doing. But we're going to try and focus our attention to the Attack of the Clones shelf, get that all lined up. We're going to take everything off. I think we're going to drop the shelf by 1 or 2 pegs. Also, I need to keep in mind, and we'll work on this tomorrow because I'll be home a lot earlier. That's where the pod racers will go. So there's that. And I'm hoping, again, this is a big hope, by Friday, we're at least halfway through done with this. Getting all this sorted. I know this will annoy some people, but this is kind of like the process of moving the room around and doing the whole thing with the shelves. This is kind of what it resulted in. So, yeah. There is that unfortunate bit to it. Also going to get rid of this chair. So that this is the chair that I fold up when I'm doing gaming. So my plan is, even if we just get a small amount of the work done to this, I will be happy. But that's pretty much what we're going to be aiming to do. I may have a comedian on the background, and by the way, the comedian in question is George Carlin. So if you're offended easily, I don't particularly recommend this stream for you. Because if you know anything about his jokes, you'll know the sense of humour is... it gets dark. So, yeah, with that in mind, we're going to try, because I think I've put this project down for a little while now. And so I'm happy to get it going again. But like I said, I ended up ordering another one of those action figures. It's one of the movie hero ones. It's the Shock Trooper from Revenge of the Sith. So, like, spare parts of a wall. See, I've always thought about getting into the action figures from that era. I had quite a few of them as a kid. Also, back then I would open them and display them on my shelves with the Lego and whatnot. But as an adult, I kind of want to buy some just, as a cool kind of collector's thing to put on spare parts on my wall. I think that'd look cool after a while. But anyway, we are going to start getting into what needs to be changed.
You might just raise the intelligence level of the American gene pool. But what do you expect? Hey, come on, this is a warlike country. We come from that northern European, basically the northern European genes, the blue eyes, those blue eyes. Boy, everybody in the world learned real quick, didn't they? When those blue eyes sail out of the north, you better nail everything down, motherfucker. Nail it down, strap it down, and they'll grab it. If they can't take it home, they'll burn it. If they can't burn it, they'll fuck it.
But again, if you're not easily offended, maybe the background noise ain't for you.
Come on, I mean, forget foreign policy. Even the domestic rhetoric is warlike. Everything about our domestic policy invokes the thought of war. We don't like something in this country, we declare war on it. The war on poverty, the war on drugs, the war on crime,
when I'm done adjusting this, it will just be the Attack of the Clones stuff. It'll be organised properly, but it'll be there. It kind of depends on timing.
Because I got to tell you the truth, folks. I got to tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No.
Yeah, we're Joe getting all this cleared off. Perfect.
Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told.
See if I had thought of this beforehand, I would have tried to have this sorted quicker before May 4th, because normally my Clone Army video goes out May 4th. Not happening this year, because I've not really bought any clones, like maybe bought 50. And I'd rather buy more before it would be worth doing.
And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place. Full of fire and smoke and burning and
sometime in May the video will be up. Hey, how's it going? We're just clearing and organizing some children.
Cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you. He loves you and he needs money.
Because it's a bit randomized.
He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'll be back in one moment, guys.
Shit. I want you to know something. This is sincere. I want you to know, when it comes to believing in God, I really tried. I really tried. I tried to believe that there is a God who created each of us in his own image and likeness, loves us very much, and keeps a close eye on things. I really tried to believe that, but I gotta tell you, the longer you live, the more you look around, the more you realize something is fucked up. Something is wrong here. War, disease, death, destruction, hunger, filth, poverty, torture, crime, corruption, and the ice capades. Something is definitely wrong. This is not good work. If this is the best God can do, I am not impressed. Results like these belong on the resume of a supreme being. This is the kind of shit you'd expect from an office temp with a bad attitude. And just between you and me, in any decently run universe, this guy would have been out on his all-powerful ass a long time ago. By the way, I say this guy because I firmly believe, looking at these results, that if there is a God, it has to be a man. No woman could or would ever fuck things up like this. If there is a God, if there is, I think most reasonable people might agree that he's at least incompetent and maybe, just maybe, doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit, which I admire in a person and which would explain a lot of these bad results. So rather than be just another mindless religious robot, mindlessly and aimlessly and blindly believing that all of this is in the hands of some spooky, incompetent father figure who doesn't give a shit, I decided to look around for something else to worship, something I could really count on. And immediately, I thought of the sun. Happened like that. Overnight, I became a sun worshiper. Well, not overnight. You can't see the sun at night. first thing the next morning, I became a sun worshiper. Several reasons. First of all, I can see the sun, okay? Unlike some other gods I could mention, I can actually see the sun. I'm big on that. If I can see something, I don't know, kind of helps the credibility along, you know? So every day I can see the sun as it gives me everything I need. Heat, light, food, flowers in the park, reflections on the lake, an occasional skin cancer. But hey, at least there are no crucifixions, and we're not setting people on fire simply because they don't agree with us. Sun worship is fairly simple. There's no mystery, no miracles, no pageantry. No one asks for money. There are no songs to learn. And we don't have a special building where we all gather once a week to compare clothing. And the best thing about the sun, it never tells me I'm unworthy. Doesn't tell me I'm a bad person who needs to be saved. Hadn't said an unkind word. Treats me fine. So I worship the sun. But I don't pray to the sun. Know why? I wouldn't presume on our friendship. It's not polite. I've often thought people treat God rather rudely, don't you? Asking help, trillions and trillions of prayers every day, asking and pleading and begging for favors. Do this, give me that, I need a new car, I want a better job. And most of this praying takes place on Sunday, his day off. It's not nice, and it's no way to treat a friend. But people do pray, and they pray for a lot of different things. You know, your sister needs an operation on her crotch. Your brother was arrested for defecating in a mall. But most of all, you'd really like to fuck that hot little redhead down at the convenience store. You know, the one with the eye patch and the club foot, huh? Can you pray for that? I think you'd have to. And I say, fine, pray for anything you want. Pray for anything. But what about the divine plan? Remember that? The divine plan. Long time ago, God made a divine plan. Gave it a lot of thought, decided it was a good plan, put it into practice. And for billions and billions of years, the divine plan has been doing just fine. Now you come along and pray for something. Well, suppose the thing you want isn't in God's divine plan. What do you want him to do? Change his plan? Just for you? Doesn't it seem a little arrogant? It's a divine plan. What's the use of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book can come along and fuck up your plan? And here's something else, another problem you might have. Suppose your prayers aren't answered. What do you say? Well, it's God's will. Thy will be done. Fine. But if it's God's will and he's going to do what he wants to anyway, why the fuck bother praying in the first place? Seems like a big waste of time to me. Couldn't you just skip the praying part and go right to his will? It's all very confusing. So to get around a lot of this, I decided to worship the sun. But as I said, I don't pray to the sun. You know who I pray to? Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Two reasons. First of all, I think he's a good actor, okay? To me, that counts. Second, he looks like a guy who can get things done. Joe Pesci doesn't fuck around. Doesn't fuck around. In fact, Joe Pesci came through on a couple of things that God was having trouble with.
Right.
For years,
Let's
I
keep
asked
going.
God to do something about my noisy neighbor with the...
Sorry about that.
Joe Pesci straightened that cocksucker out with one visit. It's amazing what you can accomplish with a simple baseball bat.
Got the size one from 2002, one of the coolest sets in my collection.
And I noticed something. I noticed that all the prayers I used to offer to God and all the prayers I now offer to Joe Pesci are being answered at about the same 50% rate. Half the time I get what I want, half the time I don't. Same as God, 50-50. Same as the four-leaf clover and the horseshoe, the wishing well and the rabbit's foot. Same as the mojo man. Same as the voodoo lady who tells you your fortune by squeezing the
all the stuff
testicles.
off. And then it means, well, in terms of this, we're left with one shelf where I'll need to go through all this. Perfect.
And enjoy yourself. And for those of you who look to the Bible for moral lessons and literary qualities, I might suggest a couple of other stories for you. You might want to look at The Three Little Pigs. That's a good one. Has a nice, happy ending. I'm sure you'll like that. Then there's Little Red Riding Hood, although it does have that X-rated part where the big bad wolf actually eats the grandmother, which I didn't care for, by the way.
This is some of the replacement parts I bought for set.
Always drawn a great deal of moral comfort from Humpty Dumpty. The part I like the best, all the king's horses and all the king's men
Sort it.
couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Tomorrow
That's
we'll put
because
these on the
there is no
Gungan
Humpty
sub.
Dumpty, and there is
Because
no
tomorrow I'm
God.
going to try and do a
None,
2-hour stream.
Not one, no God, never was. In fact, I'm gonna put it this way. If there is a God, may he strike this audience dead. See, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Everybody's okay. All right? Tell you what. I'll raise the stakes a little bit. If there is a God, may he strike me dead. See? Nothing happened. Oh, wait, got a little cramp in my leg. And my balls hurt. Plus, I'm blind. Oh, now I'm okay again. Must have been Joe Pesci, huh? God bless Joe Pesci. Thank you all very much. Joe bless you. Thank you.
So I've cleared it.
I appreciate it.
See you, man. Yeah, I can see you.
To me,
So
like,
now we're going
a
to take
couple
this
weeks
down.
overdue to drop high
Okay.
explosives on helpless civilians. People who have no argument with us whatsoever. I think we ought to be out there doing what we do best, gang, making big holes in other people's countries. I hate to be repetitious, but God, we are a warlike lot, you know? We can't stand not to be fucking with somebody. We couldn't wait for that Cold War to be over, could we? Just couldn't wait for that Cold War to be over so we could go and play with our toys in the sand. Go play with our toys in the sand.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when we're not invading some sovereign nation or setting it on fire from the air, which is more fun, then we're usually declaring war on something here at home. Do you ever notice that? We love to do that, don't we? We love to declare war on things here in America. Anything we don't like about ourselves, we have to declare war on it. Don't do anything about it. We just declare war on it. We got a war. It's the
So we've
only,
adjusted
it's the only
the shelf
metaphor
height.
we have in our public
That
discourse
makes more sense.
for solving a problem
Right.
that's called
So we'll get all the Attack of the
war on
Clones
poverty,
stuff
war on crime,
onto it.
war on litter, the war on cancer, the war on drugs. But you ever notice there's no war on homelessness, is there? Nah, no war on homelessness. You know why? There's no money in that problem. There's no money in that problem. Nobody stands, it's true, nobody stands to get rich off of that problem. You could find a solution to homelessness where the corporate swine and the politicians could steal a couple of $1 million each. You'd see the streets of America begin to clear up pretty goddamn quick. I'll guarantee you that. I will guarantee you that. Now,
Also, we can rearrange it all properly in my next
What
one.
gonna do? Give the homeless their own magazine. Give them their own magazine. It would make them feel better, for one thing. That's a sure sign of making it in this country. Every group in this country that makes it and arrives at a certain level has its own magazine. You have Working Mother magazine, Black Entrepreneur magazine, Hispanic Business magazine. In fact,
you notice it's canon there?
any activity engaged in by more than 4 people in this country has got a fucking magazine devoted to it. Skydiving, mountain climbing, snowmobiling, backpacking, bungee jumping, duck hunting, shooting someone in the asshole with a dart gun, jerking off. They probably have a magazine for that. I'm sure they have. I know they have a magazine. Walking. There's actually a fucking magazine called Walking. Look, Dan,
All 3 Genos and
the
stuff
new
there.
Walking is out.
Part of it is just investment, like choosing it to the right way. Some of it I buy on payments to up my credit and pay it off gradually. Like I've done that with a couple of UCS sets, and I work full time.
You know what you call it? Better crates
And I'm also, I
cartons.
suppose, I'm also a student, so there's that.
Then when they get
So
finished reading it, they can
I'm
use
just
it to
some of it I
line
bought
their
before it was
clothing.
worth what it some of
That's
it
a
is.
good sound business solution. That's the kind of answer you get from a conservative American.
Just organizing some
Yeah,
things.
let them read it. When they get finished reading, they can use it to plug up the holes in them piano crates they all seem to like to live in. A good, sound, practical, conservative American business solution. I'll tell you what they ought to do about homelessness. First thing, change the name of it. Change the name of the condition. It's not homelessness, it's houselessness. It's houses these people need. A home is an abstract idea. A home is a setting. It's a state of mind. These people need houses, physical, tangible structures. But where are you going to put them? Where are you going to build them? Nobody wants you to build low-cost housing near their house. People don't want it near them. We got something in this country, you've heard of it, it's called NIMBY, N-I-M-B-Y. Not in my backyard. People don't want any kind of social help located anywhere near them. You try to open up a halfway house, try to open up a rehab center for drugs or alcohol, try to build a little home for some retarded people who want to work their way into the community. People say, not in my backyard. People don't want anything near them, especially if it might help somebody else. Part of the great American spirit of generosity we're always told about.
It's the comedian, he's called George Carlin. It's just his funny name. It's funny, but if you're easily offended, I wouldn't recommend.
It's a little difficult to find. Or if you need current data, select a black family at random and ask them how generous this country has been. People don't want anything near them, even if it's something they believe in, something they think society needs, like prisons. Everybody wants that, right? Everybody wants more prisons. That's the new answer to all of our problems. Lock a lot of motherfuckers up. Everybody wants more prisons. They say, build more prisons, but not here.
George Carlin. So I'm going to show you the results. So here's where we're at. Obviously, we're still working on them, but I've got all the Attack of the Clones stuff kind of put to the side. Yes, it is all put to the side. But obviously, tomorrow we're going to tackle this bit. But we are getting somewhere. I mean, the place needs a lot of work in general, but we are getting, and obviously there's the elephant in the room, which is this, but we're going to get to that very soon. I don't really see it being too long until this starts getting, and do you know what the benefit is? A lot of the sets on here don't have anything wrong with them. Just need to tidy up the top of the UCS Falcon is. I did, however, get this in, so if you are new here and you're considering subscribing, I did a vote, right, on what I should build for when I hit 4,000 subscribers, which we're very close to. And the set that you guys picked has arrived. The 2008 7671 80 AP Walker is what you guys picked. Got all of these 2008 style boxes. Brilliant stuff. No, it's a brilliant set. So I'm looking forward to building this. I believe we're just like a slight bit over 200 subscribers away from building this. So you want me to build this live? Got to start sending these live to people and stuff like that, because that will be fun. Just put that back up there for now. But you know, we didn't do a whole lot of work in today's live. It was kind of just like a basic amount, that needed done, and I'm happy we got that done. Other things that still need doing. So since we've got a little bit of time left, we'll go. So obviously there'll be all the sets will be neatened up a bit, and figures will be added. But the figures being added to this area, as well as that, is kind of like the last thing that'll happen. Obviously, we've still got to go through this shelf, remove everything that's not a Phantom Menace thing, repair the Phantom Menace sets, have that sorted. So that's what we're going to aim to do. We're going to aim to fix that bottom shelf tomorrow stream, get that done. Stream after that, we are going to attempt to just fix the last of this so that I can call this shelf done. That'll be great, maybe possibly those up there. Also, I want to continue our little project up here. I have ordered the next one. I was saying this at the start of the live. That Padme comes in a series, which is, if you want to find these yourself, especially this one here, you go on eBay and you type in Star Wars MHO and then whatever number. So she's HM17 as part of the movie Accurate line from 2012. I have ordered the first one in that series, which is a Shock Trooper. So we'll get all that sorted. Then, once all that has been sorted and done, we will be tackling this shelf here, getting that sorted, getting it fixed. It'll be great. Then we'll come to the cabinet, which to be fair, probably just needs a dusting and cleaning. Like, this cabinet could be easily done. Like, that's not going to be a problem. And yeah, that's kind of pretty much what I've got going. I'd imagine by the time that's all done, we'll be building that set. And I know people bring this up with me. It's not the only thing that needs building. I've had these 2 battle packs in here sealed since January, along with the land spear that's in there. So, I completely get you guys have been bringing that one up with me. We will be focusing on it. I'm trying to redo some of the games the way I've got that sitting isn't great. What color do you think I should paint the shelves? I'm curious. I don't think I will, because I'd have to store the Lego somewhere and that'd be a whole thing. But I'm just out of curiosity, what color? Black. I am adding lights. I don't want to do them black because it kind of break with the grey walls and stuff. I think I'd rather these were the tan color.
But then it also goes with other furniture that I've got a bit better, so there is that. These are one of the factors there. But I'm going to add lights. Now, I don't know what lights to get, but I did think about this on purpose. So when I was doing this, I intentionally lined this shelf up. I suppose it might work with that one, because it also isn't happens to be a happy coincidence. By the way, this does have lights in it. I suppose I'll show that off since we're here. So this cabinet does have lights. It should have lights. Are my lights decidedly not working since we're on stream? There we go. So that has lights. But if you look in there, you can see there's a plug socket up the back. So I'm thinking about getting the strip light and it just plugs in a socket and goes round the back of the shelf. Is kind of where I'm thinking about going with this. As far as lighting over here, I mean, I could do the whole LED strips around the room kind of thing. That is something I've thought about doing once or twice. But look, tell you what, why don't I make a community post and you guys can suggest ideas for lighting methods. Also, I'm not going to be doing this for probably a good few weeks, but it's an idea. I'll admit my current focus on now that I started this last night, because I was at a trading hall event where I picked up the episode 1. This is from 1999. It's one of the ones that arose with me, Ori Mantell action figure. And I picked up the Padme because I saw them and thought they were cool. The Hondo I'd bought years ago because it's Hondo. And I want to continue that with like spare space in my room, just a little project with Star Wars action figures from like, you know, the late 2000s, early 2010s is kind of where it's at. I do like these ones as well. And these episode 1 ones, those are super cheap and affordable to do it with. But I want more from this era. So I'm thinking about let's fill like spare space in my walls with that. It's an ongoing idea. Also, I'd like to point on its way from Australia, post a whole bunch of figures for this project, collecting the complete saga. We'll be getting some new episodes very soon. But with all that said, I'd like to thank everyone who joined in with today's live stream. Longer stream tomorrow. It's had to be a short one tonight. I'll see you guys then.